Hello to all our dear followers. Today I want to start with a question that might seem very simple at first glance, but its answer can determine the line between a vibrant life and a life full of stress. Have you ever wondered why the body's natural and physiological awakening in the early hours of the morning is more than just a simple occurrence for a man? Many men think that if these regular morning awakenings have diminished or disappeared, it's simply because of aging. But today I'm here to tell you that this is a warning from your blood pumping system telling you that fuel delivery is facing a problem. The story I want to tell you today is about a client named Dawood. Dawood was about 60 years old, and when he went to the doctor, he was completely hopeless. He thought the peak of his life was over, but the strange thing in his case led him to an astonishing success. It was something he himself didn't pay any attention to at all, namely the return of morning awakenings after 2 months, that is, morning erections. And in this video I'm going to reveal a secret that not only this person but thousands of other men are unaware of. I'm going to talk about a molecule that acts as the on switch for your blood vessels. If this molecule decreases in your body, no matter how mentally prepared you are, your body will be like a car with a dead battery. It just won't start. But there's a very crucial point that we'll only get to at the end of this video after we've gone through all the steps. Why is simple walking more effective than the most expensive supplements in the world for restoring this power? If you want to know how this person managed to regain trust in their body without heavy chemical medications and just by making a few strategic changes to their diet and daily activities, stay with me until the very last second of this video. This video will not only change the way you see your body, but it will also give you a roadmap with a level of detail you won't find anywhere else. Let's talk a bit more intimately. For many men in their 50s, 60s, or even older, life is like driving on a road they've been traveling for years. You know all the twists and turns of this road, you love your car, and you know the destination too. But one day you realize that the steering wheel isn't as sharp and precise as it used to be. You press the gas pedal, but the car accelerates with a delay. This is exactly how this person felt. He said that his desire and enthusiasm hadn't changed at all since his 40s, and that he was still the same person as before, but it was as if the connection between his mind and body had been severed. This feeling of the body lagging behind the mind is one of the most bitter experiences a man can have. Dawood had noticed these changes for about 2 years. He said that this didn't happen suddenly. It was like a gentle snowfall layering softly on the ground, gradually diminishing his abilities bit by bit. Many of you who are watching this video right now might be in the same situation. Maybe you've even visited different doctors and they've told you that this is normal for your age, or that everyone faces these challenges as they get older. But I want to tell you that just because a problem is common doesn't mean it's natural or untreatable. When your body can no longer meet your mental needs, the first thing that gets hurt is your self-confidence. This person was experiencing something we call anticipatory anxiety. Every time he wanted to get close to his wife, he was already worried in advance. What if my body doesn't cooperate again this time? And this very thought acted like a poison, causing the release of stress hormones that made the blood vessels even narrower than before. In our daily lives, we often overlook the impact of nutrition and movement on this very delicate hydraulic system. We think that the problem must be a major illness or a dramatic event, while in reality our body is like a garden. If we neglect its soil and don't water it, the flowers will gradually wither away. Please just let me know in the comments section. Do you, like Dawood, feel that your desire hasn't changed but your body just doesn't cooperate? And when was the last time you made positive changes to your diet, like eating dark green vegetables daily? I read every single one of your comments. Knowing about your experiences helps me prepare more accurate content for you. Also, if at this point in the video you feel that Dawood's story is similar to your own life or that of someone close to you, be sure to like the video, because your like helps YouTube's algorithms show this content to other men who are struggling with this stress alone. We are here to build a community, and our goal is to help each other improve the quality of our lives through knowledge and awareness. But in your opinion, do you think the mind plays a bigger role in men's performance challenges, or is it the body? And do you think these two are actually separate from each other, or are they integrated together? Think about it and write down your opinion, because in the main training section, I'm going to address how these two parts form a cycle with a vicious loop and how we can break this cycle. But the magic molecule, nitric oxide, the commander of the blood vessels, did you know that your body produces an invisible gas, and if its production stops for just a few seconds, all your vital systems will shut down? Let's talk about nitric oxide. The name might sound a bit scientific and complicated, but its function is actually very simple. Imagine your blood vessels as flexible tunnels, and when your brain sends the readiness signal, these tunnels need to open up immediately to direct a large volume of blood to its destination. Nitric oxide is exactly the messenger that tells the walls of the blood vessels to relax and open up. When we're young, say in our 20s or 30s, our bodies are like a big modern factory that rapidly produces nitric oxide. That's why young people respond physically so quickly and with the slightest stimulation. But as we age, especially after the age of 50, the production of this gas in the inner layer of the blood vessels, called the endothelium, drops dramatically. This means that as you get older, your blood vessels lose their elasticity and become stiff and rigid like a plastic pipe that's been left out in the sun for years. In this situation, even if your brain is screaming for more blood, your vessels are unable to open up. This is exactly where we encounter physical failure. This was precisely the problem in Dawood's case. He thought his sex drive had decreased, but when we looked into it more closely, we realized that his libido was actually great, but his blood vessels had become unresponsive. They were no longer receiving the nitric oxide signal because no nitric oxide was being produced at all. Imagine you want to water a garden with a hose that's kinked. The faucet is your brain, and it's turned on all the way. The water pressure is your libido, which is also open and strong. But because the hose is kinked or stiff, the water doesn't reach the flowers. The solution is to unkink the hose, not to increase the faucet's pressure. Now the question is, how can we get this nitric oxide factory running again? Is there a way to teach the blood vessels to listen again? In the next section, I'll tell you how Dawood managed to work wonders with a nitrate-rich diet. But here's a question: what was the secret behind the power of the ancient Roman gladiators? What did they eat before battle that made their blood flow increase several times over? Many men, when faced with performance issues, the first thing they do is buy those well-known chemical pills. But Dawood chose a different path. I'm going to talk about the nitrate pathway. Our bodies can provide the raw material for producing nitric oxide through certain foods. The best of these foods are dark leafy vegetables like arugula, spinach, and most importantly, beetroot. Beetroot is rich in natural nitrates, and when you eat beetroot, the bacteria on your tongue, yes, even the bacteria in your mouth, start converting these nitrates into nitrites, which are eventually turned into nitric oxide in your stomach and bloodstream. At first, Dawood was very resistant and said that he didn't like the taste of beetroot at all and couldn't eat spinach salad every day. He was a busy man and didn't have time to prepare these things either. That's when we turned to a more practical solution: nitric oxide supplement powders. These powders are extracts of those same ingredients that easily dissolve in water. And here's the golden point: the supplement alone doesn't work miracles. It's consistency in taking it that brings about change. Dawood used this combination consistently for about 5 to 6 weeks. Every morning he drank a glass of this extract, and at first nothing happened. He even became discouraged because there was still no change, but he was told that his blood vessels had been dried up for 2 years. You can't expect them to flow like a river overnight. These foods are actually raw materials, like bringing bricks and cement to a builder. He needs time to build the wall. It was in the 6th week that Dawood said that famous sentence, "My morning erections have returned." This means that the blood pumping system is working well even at rest, and this is the best sign of improved vascular health. But is just eating it enough? If you put the best gasoline in your tank but your car doesn't start, what happens? The gasoline will settle. In the next section, I'll tell you what simple activity Dawood did to make the effect of this supplement 10 times stronger. A free 30-minute activity that can rejuvenate your blood vessels. Did you know that every step you take sends a chemical pulse to your blood vessels? When this person was told that he should walk briskly for 30 minutes a day, he laughed and said, "I have a performance problem, not a weight problem." But it was explained to him that the physical movement of blood in the vessels itself stimulates the production of nitric oxide. Scientists call this phenomenon shear stress. When you walk and your heart rate goes up a bit, blood flows through your vessels with greater speed and friction. This friction stimulates the cells lining the vessel walls to secrete more nitric oxide. In fact, walking is like cleaning and activating the inside of your vessels with a brush. Imagine you have a water pipe that has sediment inside it. If you run water through it at high pressure, the sediment gets dislodged and the pipe walls become smooth. Walking does exactly the same thing for your blood vessels. Dawood started walking for 30 minutes a day and not more than that. He combined this with taking that nitric oxide powder. Now he was both supplying his body with the raw materials through nutrition and issuing the production command through movement. This was a two-pronged attack on the problem, but one of the most interesting things that happened to Dawood was that his performance anxiety was also spontaneously cured. How? When he saw that his body was awake again and his morning erections had returned, his confidence came back. He was no longer worried in intimate moments because he had seen proof of his health throughout the day and in the mornings. Many specialists go straight to psychoanalysis, but I believe that for many men, the mind is just reacting to the body. When the body works properly, the mind also calms down. Dawood no longer needed to focus on mental techniques because his blood vessels were once again under his control. But the combination of supplements, nitrate-rich nutrition, and walking gave Dawood results that no medication ever had. After 2 months, instead of being a patient, he had become a powerful man whose circulatory system was working well. Thank you very much for staying with me up to this point. If you feel that this information has given you a new perspective, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. In the upcoming videos, we're going to take a closer look at specific supplements and special exercises for strengthening the pelvic muscles, topics that no one has talked about before. And if you have any questions, write them in the comments section. Until the next video, goodbye.